Okay, friends, today we're going to be reading My No, No, No Day by Rebecca Patterson. Bella, our main character, is having a very bad day. Give me a frown if you've ever had a bad day before. Yeah. Seems like most of us have had a bad day before. So we're going to start reading and figure out what happens on Bella's bad day. Okay. Yesterday, I woke up and Bob was crawling around my room, licking my jewelry. So I shouted, "Get out of my room!" And that was the start of my no, no, no day. Then I came downstairs and I saw that egg. I cried and said, "I can't eat that!" Give me a thumbs up if you've also had food you don't like. Yep, definitely same here. And Mommy said, "You could eat it last week. Look at Bob eating his mashed bananas." After the terrible egg, I didn't like my shoes either. So I took them all off by myself, shouting, "No shoes!" And then we had to go shopping, and Mommy said, "Please stop wriggling, Bella." But I couldn't stop wriggling. And in the end, I shouted, "Get me out!" Mommy said, "You'll give Bob an earache, and you were giving me a headache." And Bob poked me and said, "Ear." At lunchtime, Sasha and her mommy came to play and to have some peanut butter and grapes and a cookie. But my cookie broke! I remember a time my sandwich fell apart at lunch. I was really upset. Then I couldn't play nicely, and I kept saying, "No, you can't be princesses." And in the end, Sasha and her mommy went home. In the afternoon, it was my ballet lesson. I said, "Ballet is too itchy." But I was very loud, and Mrs. Clark stopped playing the piano, and Miss Louisa said, "Dear, oh dear, perhaps you should sit in the corner then." On the way home, we met the lady who lives next door, and she said that Bob was the sweetest thing she'd seen all day. And then she said, "And how is Bella?" I was a long way behind, so I had to shout, "I have a hurting foot!" And Mommy said, could I keep my voice down, and could I please stop lying on the sidewalk? Then it was time for my supper and my bath, but those peas were too hot, and our bath was too cold, and I was too wet, and it was too minty. After that, I rolled and said, "No bed, no, 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 no bed, no, no." And Mommy said, "Well, I think someone needs to go to bed." But I rolled all over my room, and then I rolled into Bob's room and said, "Bed is for babies." And then I yawned. A little yawn. Then I crawled into my room, and Mommy said, "Who wants a story?" And I said, "Nobody." But she came into my room anyway, and she cuddled up and had my best story about fairies and cake. Yeah. Do we think Bella's tired, class?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, she seems tired to me too. I yawned again and I said very quietly, "Today was a very bad day, Mommy. Sorry." And she kissed me goodnight and said, "I know. We all have those days sometimes, but perhaps you will be more cheerful tomorrow." And do we think Bella's going to have a good day tomorrow or a bad day? Give me a thumbs up if you think a good day. Give me a thumbs down if you think a bad day. All right, we think a good day. I was cheerful all day long. So raise your hand if you've ever had a bad day before, like Bella. Yeah, I think a lot of us have had bad days before. So what we're going to do is you are going to draw about your own bad day, and then you're going to write about it. So for me, I wrote about a time that I was too sleepy to go to work, and then I wrote about what happened and why I was so tired and what I ended up doing. I'm going to set your timer for 5 minutes, and you may get started now.